त्या इंडस्ट्री कनेक्ट प्रोग्रामांतल्यान जे इंडस्ट्री गरज आशिल्ल्यो त्यो गजाली मागीर रिफॉर्म्स आसतले किंवा डिक्रिमिनलायझेशन ऑफ द लॉज आसतले ह्यो सगळ्यो गजाली मुद्दामून आमी तुमच्या खातीर घडोवल्या. हांव एक मुद्दामून 2-3 गजालींचेर फक्त फोकस करतलो की पीएम गतिशक्ती प्रोग्राम तुका जर याद जाता आसत जाल्यार सगळ्यांत पयलो कार्यक्रम देशांतलो पीएम गतिशक्तीचो कार्यक्रम ऑनरेबल PWD रोड एंड ट्रान्सपोर्ट मिनिस्टर नितीन गडकरीजी अनाउन्स जाल्या उपरांत म्हणजे एका म्हयन्याच्या भितर गोंयांत येयले आनी पयलो कार्यक्रम ह्याच हॉलान हांगासरूच आमी नितीन गडकरीच्या बरोबर घेतलेलो. आनी एक्च्युअल गतिशक्ती कितें हें तांच्यांनी फक्त एक्सप्लेन केल्लें. बट आज आमी प्राऊडली सांगता गतिशक्तीच्या बाबतींत सगळ्यांत एडवान्स जर कोणी काम केलां आसत जाल्यार तें गोंय राज्यांत केलां. आनी प्राऊड ऑल ऑफिसर्स म्हणजे दे हॅव टू कनेक्ट डिफरंट म्हणजे जे आमकां कनेक्टिविटी आमी डिफरंट सॅक्टर्स जी करपाक जाय आशिल्ली इन्क्लुडींग द एड्युकेशन सॅक्टर गतिशक्ती प्लॅटफॉर्माचो आमी खूब बरो यूज पीएम गतिशक्ती प्लॅटफॉर्माचो करता. Approximately, we have taken the 19 crores from the government of India. We have appointed a consultant. We are working on the Gati Shakti platforms. Okay, setting up of the Invest India desk. The government of India च्या अंतर्गत Invest India desk घेऊन प्लॅन आणि मॅपिंग जे आसा ते ऑलरेडी स्टार्ट केल्ले आसा. सिंगल विंडो पोर्टल हाच्या अंतर्गत JSIDC आणि इंडस्ट्रीज हाच्या अंतर्गत सिंगल विंडोच्या क्लिअरन्स सगळं दिवपा खातीर सुरवात केला. IDC कनेक्ट प्रोग्राम ऑलरेडी उरलेलो. मागीर आतां लॉजिस्टिक आनी वेअरहाऊस पॉलिसी ऑलरेडी गोंयांत लॉन्च केली आणि त्या हाच्या अंतर्गत आमी खूब बऱ्या पद्दतीन काम करपाक शकतले. मेडिकल डिवायस मॅन्युफॅक्चरिंग पार्क हाच्या खातीर आमी ऑलरेडी कोट केला गव्हर्मेंट ऑफ इंडिया कडेन. इफ इट इज सँक्शन देन इट वील बी द गेम चेंजर फॉर द स्टेट गव्हर्मेंट. मरीन क्लस्टर्स आमी फॉर्म करपाक शकले. ताच्या अंतर्गत वेगवेगळे चेंजीस आमी करपाक शकले. आज खास करून आमी आयकपा खातीर आसा म्हणजे पियुशच्या मदीं देशभरांतल्यान कितें बदल जाले ताजेर फक्त हांव एक 2-3 इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चरात पुराय देशात जे बदल झाला 2-3 फक्त हायलाइट्स तुमच्या मुखार. इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चरात बदल झाले 500% रोड कनेक्टिविटी म्हणजे आम्ही एलोकेशन ऑफ द बजेट गव्हर्मेंट ऑफ इंडिया जर तुम्ही पळयशात 2014चो बजेट पळयात आणि आता तुम्ही 2019चो बजेट जर पळयशात 500% ऑफ द बजेट हॅव इन्क्रीज इन द रोड इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर बाय ऑनरेबल प्रायम मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदीजी. आम्ही जर पळयता आसत जाल्यार आम्ही वंदे भारत ट्रेन आमकां फाल्यां सुरवात जाता. फाल्यां आमी लॉन्च करता. 400 नवीन ट्रेन वंदे भारत ज्यो आसा पळय फॉर्म केल्यो. 17 ट्रेन सुरवात केल्यो आनी आमी लकी आसा की 17वी ट्रेन गोंयांत दिता आनी फाल्यां ताचें लॉन्चिंग आसा. सो वी आर व्हेरी मच हॅपी फाल्यां ट्रेन लॉन्च करता. म्हाका दिसता अशें जर पळयत जाल्यार वेगवेगळे म्हणजे 74 एअरपोर्ट्स फाटल्यान 9 वर्सां 74 नवीन एअरपोर्ट ऑनरेबल प्रायम मिनिस्टर लॉन्च केले. तितूंतलो एक एअरपोर्ट आमचो आशिल्लो हें आमच्या खातीर प्राऊड करता. आनी इट इज नॉट ओनली म्हणजे धाकले एअरपोर्टूय न्ही म्हणजे इंटरनॅशनल एअरपोर्ट कार्गो कॅरिंग एअरपोर्ट म्हणजे थोड्या दिसां भितर कार्गो कॅरिंग फेसिलिटीज जी आसा ही मोपा इंटरनॅशनलचे एअरपोर्ट सुरवात जाता. म्हाका दिसता स्पेशली फॉर द फार्मास्युटिकल कंपनी हांकां म्हाका दिसता हांगासल्यान नवा शिवा वयचें पडचें ना. तांकां मोपांतल्यानूच ही फेसिलिटीज इट वील बी अवेलेबल फॉर द फार्मास्युटिकल कंपनी सो दे कॅन carry their cargo from the Mopa International Airport to their further. Prudent platform. तो पयली फावटी सुद्दां ऑनरेबल प्रायम मिनिस्टर पयली फावटी स्वता मॉनिटर करता. म्हणजे म्हाका खबर आसा म्हणजे आमच्या सीएस आनी पुराय देशात अशें केन्ना घडूंक ना. हांव ऑनरेबल प्रायम मिनिस्टर मन की बात कार्यक्रम घेताय बरें आसा. लोकां कडेन कनेक्ट करपाक 100 कार्यक्रम ऑनरेबल प्रायम मिनिस्टरान मन की बात कार्यक्रम घेतले आनी लोकां कडेन कनेक्ट रावले. बट बिसाइड्स दॅट लोकांक खबर ना ते सांगता ऑनरेबल प्रायम मिनिस्टर प्रगती ह्या पोर्टलाच्या सकयल स्वता दर 2 म्हयन्यांनी पुराय देशांतले सगळे प्रोजेक्ट हे स्वता मॉनिटर करता. ही इज गिविंग द इन्स्ट्रक्शन अंडर द प्रगती. ह्या प्रगतीचेर आशिल्लो आमचो डबल ट्रॅकिंग आसतलो किंवा रोड इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर आसतलो. हे प्रोजेक्ट स्वता पीएम फॉलो करता जेणे करून कनेक्टिविटी थ्रू आउट द कंट्री ही जी आसा ती मॉनिटर स्वता ते करता. अंडर अमृत मिशन पयली फावटी स्टार्ट जाला विच इज बेनिफिटेड बाय द गोवा. अमृत मिशनचो प्रोजेक्ट आमकां पणजे खातीर मेळ्ळो. ओके 111 वॉटरवेज नॅशनल वॉटरवेज ताचेर आयडेंटिफाय केल्यो आनी ताच्या अंतर्गत ऑलरेडी आमच्या गोंयांतूय वॉटरवेज आमकां मॉनिटर करूंक मेळ्ळ्यो. रुरल इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर कनेक्टिविटी 99% पुराय देशांत रुरल इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर कनेक्टिविटी करपाक शकले आनी ताचो फायदो आमी गोंयांनी घेतलो. आनी ऑलमोस्ट गोंयांतलो एकूय गांव असो आसतना जेणे करून आमकां कनेक्टिविटी ना. इतकेच न्ही तर हे जालें इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चरच्या बाबतींत. इज ऑफ डुईंग द बिझनेस बिझनेसच्या बाबतीत पुराय आमी देशभर जेन्ना पळयता तेन्ना देशभर जर पळयता आसत जाल्यार आमी खंय आशिल्ले वी आर ऑन द 79th रँक सॉरी वी आर ऑन द 142 रँक आज आमी 79 रँकाचेर पावल्या इन ईज ऑफ डुईंग द बिझनेस 163 पे पावले ओके दिस इज नॉट अपडेटेड इट्स 63 रँकाचेर पावले 142 चेर आशिल्ले ओके ते 63 रँकाचेर पावले हेतूंतल्यान मागीर बाकीचे डिटेल्स म्हणजे मंत्रीजी उलयतले बट वेगवेगळ्यो म्हणजे आमी रेट्रोस्पेक्टीव टॅक्स आसतले एंजल टॅक्स आसतले हे रिपील करपाक शकले ऑलमोस्ट म्हणजे 1500 प्लस आर्केड लॉ जे आसले हे आमी रिपील करपाक शकले द सेम लायनीचेर गव्हर्मेंट ऑफ गोवान वेगवेगळ्यो गजाली त्यो गोंयांतूय करपाक शकले इट इज अशा पद्दतीन खूब मोठो बदल हो आमी देशांत आनी राज्यांत जाता आसतना पळयता ऑनरेबल प्रायम मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदीजीच्या 9 वर्साच्या कार्यकाळात देशांत आमी सांगता आसतना फक्त राम मंदिर आनी 317वेच कलम सांगना तर हे सांगता आसतना देशांत येदो व्हडलो इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टरांत जो बदल जाला तोय बदल लोकांच्या मुखार आसा हो सांगपा खातीर आज खास करून आमचे मंत्री म्हणजे पियुषजी तुमच्या मुखार आयले सो डेट हांव डायरेक्टली मैं आपको रिक्वेस्ट कर रहा हूँ कि डायरेक्टली वो लोग आपको जो कुछ पूछना है वो पूछे सो तो फिर यू कैन आंसर डायरेक्टली अब ज्यादा देर में जो रुकना नहीं चाहता हूँ फिर एक बार मैं आपका स्वागत करता हूँ गोवा सरकार की तरफ से गोवा की इंडस्ट्रीज की तरफ से गोवा के लोगों की तरफ से और माविनी जी से बताया कि खास करके इंडस्ट्रीज और टेक्सटाइल में जो आपने तो ऑलरेडी प्रॉमिस किया इससे आगे भी आपका सपोर्ट गवर्नमेंट ऑफ गोवा के लिए लगेगा बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद
terms of development, access to, new industry. Sir, Goa is a little different. You know, it's a small state. Probably consumption is an issue because it's got low population base. Again, raw material availability is an issue. So probably the sectors that we can focus on is on niche sectors. And I think that's where industry will require your support. That why don't we look at industries such as electronics industry? You go to the world today. The world treats us with different respect due to the Honorable Prime Minister's vision. If you could connect us to some of the industry that we can get to Goa, particularly in the IT field as well as the electronics industry, I think Goa will gain a lot. The Honorable Chief Minister and the Industries Minister is there. We can also commit to you as industry as well as the government that we can train the human resources because that's one of the areas that I think we need to focus on because many of us run educational institutes and we could do that. So probably that would be the best way to take industry forward. Of course, tourism is there, entertainment is there, as the Honorable Industry Minister has said. So I just wanted to make this humble suggestion to you, sir. And if you could connect us to the right people that we could go and meet, visit, we could plan a visit with our Honorable CM and take it forward. Thank you so much.
Honorable Minister, Mr. Goyal, Chief Minister Prudent, Chairman of EDC, Minister, welcome. Okay. There are a couple of suggestions that I like to make. On the news, my name is Ram D'Souza, President, Goa Chamber of Commerce and Industry. There are a couple of suggestions that I like to make. We've got others that we put on the paper we'll give them to you. But the first is, we had DGFT office in Goa. Now this has been closed, and the closest place for us to go is to Bombay. There's a bit of inconvenience and there's a problem there. The Goa Chamber will be happy to suggest an office here and we'll give you a place at the Chamber Secretariat to start off before you find your own office if it is not big enough. So Goa Chamber offers you table space and something more for a DGFT office. Please reopen that door. That's the first suggestion and an offer. The second would be that we know that SCIS and EPCG are a history now. What happens is we are one of the biggest big industry in tourism, and there's a huge Eastern European sector that wants to come to Goa. This is very competitive. The margins are very, very less. That's one area. Second, almost 100% of the charter flights come to Goa. Again, the volumes are big, but margins are less. Some sort of assistance like Tourism Export Promotion Council on the lines of SEPC. If this is set up, this will help a lot, and it will be a game changer. We've got huge potential. The luxury sector is running short of rooms. This Taj itself has got 21 properties in Goa. So that's how big it is. Every international brand is coming. Every international brand is coming. But we've got to bring the footfalls in. And for this, we require some help so that we can be competitive. And we can go back to our past glory as far as international footfalls are concerned. We are doing pretty well with the capacity. These are the two suggestions, sir. That's Tourism Export Promotion Council, just like on the basis of SEPC that we have. That will help us, it will take care of change. Thank you so much.
My name is Manish. I represent Messenger. I would like to make a small, in fact, I would like to mention that with the new Mopa airport which has come, South Maharashtra and North Karnataka both are looking forward for the exports to happen from this airport, especially vegetable, meat, fish, which is already being exported but from faraway places, and being perishable, they suffer lots of losses. Sir, I would like to make a mention that VIPP promotes lots of logistic parks, which is under your department, and also cold chain, promotion of cold chains and other things which would help not only the agri sector but also the pharma sector, because they would also like to use these cold chains which could come up near the Mopa airport and help in promotion of the exports to happen from this area. This is one thing which I would like to make. Thank you.
Sir, एक टेबल से क्वेश्चन आएंगे तो लगेगा स्टेज मैनेजर.
Sir, very good evening. I am Vertiman. I represent Marks's Pharma. Right? Pharmaceutical industry has the significant contribution towards one of the premium export contribution which happens from Goa. Right? And thanks to entire Goa population and the Honorable Chief Minister, Mr. Sawan, to help us out for everything to support and providing a conducive atmosphere. There are a couple of things which will help the industry to take it to the next side. I mean, if I will look at the global scenario, because we export it out, we are 100% export oriented pharma company. And basically, like in the pharmaceutical industry, we have the premier institutes like the NIPER based out in the Mohali, right? We have the PHU, which is an IIT. Now, being we are an export premium sector, the requirements, the regulatory requirements are very, very high, right? And certainly, the Center for the Excellence, like the NIPER, which has a very extreme good quality of the research, which can help the premium industry to take it to further the next level. And it can be a good connect with the industry to have, like we are dependent on, sometimes we do the activities with the CSIR, we get in having some signage with the PHU. But if we can plan off like an NIPER, like an institute in Goa, that will help the industry a lot to get to the premium people, like the Goa normally very few people prefers to cover the Goa. So if we get a much better talent, which can help it out in the research and then collaboration, we can do better. There is significant, after the post of the China scenario, right, all the big giants like Walmart and Walgreens and based on the US, right, they have significantly looking into the diversification of their procurement from India, right? I mean, it is in the billions of dollars. Unfortunately, we have a lot of industry. I mean, in Goa, it is in Goa. So one of the things is that this industry needs a little bit kind of a guidance how they can come up with to cope up the requirements which is needed by the US this one. We have like the CDSU, we do have a lot of institutions which help, and of course the Prime Minister Modi has done something which has never happened in the past. And we can see that the vibrations of the export and everything. So something that kind of a thing, the concept can be built it up, which will basically can align even the small scale industry to get aligned to meet the US and then the UK requirements. They are highly dependent.
Thanks. Let me try to respond to our four friends who have raised some of the points. First of all, my apologies, we started a little late, but I was interacting with the media upstairs, I think the same. Upstairs or downstairs? Upstairs. And with the media, you don't choose when it winds up, they choose when it winds up. So it went on a little longer than it was stated to be. My apologies that you had to wait for some time. Truly wonderful to be back home, if I can say that. I love that. My family loves Goa. My children, whenever they are in India, whenever they are working, they have only one request: Goa Kalchari. And I think you really have paradise on earth. I disagree with you that people are not willing to come to Goa. Even if you look for a job, they would like to come. The wonderful cuisines that you have, the beaches that you have, I think you are really blessed. All of you in Goa are really blessed. And I come from Maharashtra, which is your neighboring state. Of course, the youngsters in the room may not have known it, but for all of us, relatively older people here, you remember the old Onida ad? इसको याद है ओनिडा पे आने किसने? मेरी वो हालत है. But truly, for those who don't know about it, Onida, the television manufacturer, had a very famous ad in which they would build up the ad and then show Onida TV with a punchline: neighbors envy, owner's pride. मेरी ये स्थिति है गोवा की. Wonderful to see all the business persons, the ideas that have come on the table. One idea sounds very good. I'd love to work on that, and I'll try to sit down with some of the entertainment industry and see what can be done to bring them to Goa. Actually, it's a natural place. They go to Maldives, they go to all of Europe and do film shooting and all of that. They can't get a better place than Goa to do film shooting. But आप एक ही चिंता करना कि if we get the entertainment industry to come to Goa, you may find that Pramod will have a new job or a new profession to pursue, because they're always looking for good film stars. But yes, I see tremendous potential for the non-polluting industries. And as was alluded to by some of our friends, potential in the electronics industry, in the pharma industry. Soft skills can be the mainstay of Goa's economic development. Tourism can even grow further, as was rightly pointed out by you, sir. And the fact that you, as Morgan said, airports, rail connectivity, tomorrow you'll be having the first Vande Bharat starting from Goa, and then there will have many more in the future. Two rail bodies, the Indian Railways and the Konkani Railway Corporation. All of this collectively, with the beautiful beaches, the warm hospitality, makes Goa an ideal place to promote tourism. And tourism provides the maximum income and income opportunities. New ideas come up, for example, homestay. I don't know how much it is already exploited, but on every home in Goa is a perfect place to develop a homestay. I'll share with you in Kashmir, after removal of 370, Article 370, there's been a huge rush of tourists. I don't know if you saw the number last year. 1 crore 88 lakh tourists went to Jammu Kashmir after peace and equality is brought into Kashmir. Now, there obviously is not enough hotels. So I remember once I had to go to Gulmarg for some review of government programs. They couldn't find a room for me in Gulmarg. I hope they didn't, I don't know how, but they did find a room. I hope it was only a mere cancellation that got me my room. But when I was talking to the people there, I realized that it needs a huge amount of investment. And overnight it won't happen. There's a land problem. Just like land in Goa is very expensive. So I actually called up Bhavish Shakarwal from Oyo, I think from there. And I said, look, there's a golden opportunity for you. He immediately deputed his teams. They started promoting homestays. He had even sent me, WhatsApp me some pictures of the homes. So the homestay company actually helped the local people even upgrade their homes, which is good for the local people. Helped actually expand their homes. And today it's a flourishing economy, which is direct income to the homeowners. उनके घर भी ज़्यादा अच्छे हो गए. Local cuisine, local tradition. Build up a policy to support homestays. For example, Mudra loans are available thanks to Prime Minister Modi's Mudra scheme. Up to 10 or 25 lakhs, easily you can get a loan at reasonable rate of interest. Have a homestay policy. Okay. See how we can build that up even further. It's a unique way to promote tourism. It's a double manner. Not only do you get a place to stay, you also experience the local culture. Why I say this is, more than the Indian tourists, foreign tourists would love it. And ultimately you want to attract foreign tourists not only for the foreign exchange that they bring in, but they are also generally, we can try and attract high value tourism if we market Goa better. Look at the way Maldives is marketing itself. With influencers, social media influencers, YouTubers. Also, I'm told they attract film stars from Mumbai to come there or from South India to come there on a fully paid vacation. The condition is that they have to promote that the hotels there, they have to promote the beaches, they have to promote the sports, they have to promote that as a tourist destination. And that's attracting a lot of high value tourists. High value tourists spend a lot of money when they come. And that adds to your economy, to your people's incomes, all those who are investing in tourism. So I'll certainly be happy to work with both the tourism ministry in the center and with the Goa government. I'll create a small working group and we'll look at joint ideas to try and promote tourism. The Honorable Tourism Minister is here. Certainly, in my view, that's an industry that has done very well. But now with the new airport, new infrastructure facilities, I was telling Pramodji today with the drive from the airport, I almost felt like I've come to a new place. First time I came on the new bridge, saw the highways, 6 lane highways, beautiful quality of construction, beautiful greenery on both sides. I was on the phone, my wife told me to shut the phone and look out, what are you missing? So it's something, truly we have to look at a 10x growth if you ask me. And imagine the game-changing dimensions that will have on your street. Pharma, incidentally, I'll give you a small information. I needed some medication for a particular problem which finally came from Goa. I was suffering from a dry skin. I can tell you, also my skin would get dry. All the time it was dry. So the doctor recommended something. And the guy used to bring it, my colleague used to bring it, I used to बहुत दिन तक मालूम नहीं पड़ा. One day the owner of the company which manufactures it met me. And he said कि our factory is in Goa. तो मेरा तो actually एक obligation ही है Goa. I went to Goa. And it was remarkable. It absolutely solved my problem. So you are doing wonderful work in pharma. Incidentally, since morning, I've been in touch with Prudent, with Sun Pharma, with Mansukh Mandavia, the Honorable Pharma and Health Minister. We've been working on setting up a group with both industry, commerce and health and pharma, both ministers, to try and see how we can expand the pharma industry nationally, of course, and also export, increase exports, protect our industry. Because the world has seen our strength and they are recognizing us as the pharmacy of the world, now the backlash has started. Backlash from other countries has started against it. So I tell you, the Modi style of working is see an issue, act immediately. So my office sent me a small article in the morning after the meeting. I'll show you my WhatsApp. Morning I got that article. I talked to Mansukh twice after that. I sent that article to 4 or 5 big people in pharma and already been in talks with them. We are finalizing dates when we'll be inviting 20-30 of the top pharma people. In that, I will also look at seeing how which are the 4 or 5 hubs, including Goa, where we should try and expand the pharma industry. Gujarat has a lot of pharma. Goa has a lot of pharma. I think Hyderabad has a lot of pharma. Probably Himachal Pradesh or thereabouts. Himachal, Uttarakhand, where you went to get the benefits of the industrial policy. So,
sir, 12% total manufacturing happens in Goa.
12%.
12%.
That's a very interesting data point, and I assure you, I'll keep that as one of the agenda items. How we can create and expand and develop these hubs further. After that, I'll catch hold of my good friend and discuss with Mohan how we can take this forward. I would urge all of you, apart from pharma, even others in the room, share your experiences, share your ideas, and ideally your paper. I've made notes, of course, of whatever is said so far. But if you give us your papers, the advantage with paper is that it gets actioned. We start working on it. And it gets institutionalized. Oral discussions are between you and me. Paper, once I pass it to the department, as they say, file खुल जाती है. और एक बार file खुलती है तो अंतिम अंजाम तक जाती है. Goes to its destination. Till it's not complete. And I have a dashboard. Obviously now my team is somebody, they are making notes on my dashboard. Whatever I'm going to announce or say gets entered in the dashboard. That it will be concluded. I'll harass my officers in क्या. So I assure you I will be looking at the pharma or other ideas Tourism Export Promotion Council and talk to my colleagues. We have a CPC, but I don't know whether it requires a separate tourism council, but not a bad idea. Because with the trust Modi ji is giving to tourism, we have in the last budget announced a challenge mode. We are going to select cities, and Goa has to apply and get them selected in that specific cities. So see some new place, don't necessarily go for Panjim or something. See some new area which you can develop as a important tourism destination and apply for it. And I'm sure if with Goa applies, there's no way we cannot select Goa. In any challenge, you will be amongst the top. I appreciate that you need footfalls. My concern is different. I was telling you we need more facilities. And land being expensive is a challenge in Goa. Today I think Goa is no more a winter destination which it was when I first started. By the way, my family and I have been coming to Goa for 30 years. Why I remember? Because my wife was pregnant with the first child. So I know it was 93. So this is my 30th year. And to my mind, I would not have missed a single year that I have not come to Goa in 30 years. And today I think it's a 365-day destination. Throughout the year there is demand. For our startup 20, which is being held in Canada, there were not enough rooms for everybody to be housed in. So some people had to be put up in other hotels. So my worry is even more than yours, that infrastructure will fall short. Konkani and Samant have done wonderful work on expanding the highway network, and they continue to do so. A lot of work is happening on railways. 3,000 crores on the Manohar Parrikar International Airport. So, 3,000 crores. So we are committed. And this is the only government which is building a strong foundation for the future of India. Which government in the past has ever thought, like Kennedy had said, you remember? Did the highways make America great? Or did America make great highways? And we all know the answer. It's the highways which made America great. In a way, it's a link to infrastructure. And that's what Modi ji is trying to do. Our infrastructure spending has grown only in the last 4 years by 400%, 4 or 5 years. That's the speed of growth. The National Infrastructure Master Plan has projects worth 111 lakh crores that we are working on. India will have world-class infrastructure. In fact, those of you who travel abroad, show me any other place in the world which has airports as good as India. Any country in the world. We are number one in the world on airports. Of course, we are the fastest growing large economy. Thanks to all of these initiatives, both in infrastructure, in industry, tourism, our foreign tourist inflow under Modi government has more than doubled. And I have a lot of data points. If you are interested, I can WhatsApp it to somebody here. And somebody would have, EDC would have all the cases. Send it to everybody. You know, when we completed 9 years, I was tasked with preparing a presentation on 9 years. My first presentation, first cut, and no small issues, only the major issues, ran into 272 slides. 272 slides, only major issues. No small issues in that at all. And then card के इसको brief किया, फिर takes almost an hour to present. After cutting it down to almost 20% of the issues, it takes an hour. I'm not sure. I actually want to thank all of you. I'm not at all satisfied because I personally believe, and I told the press earlier today, I said, look, the day we are satisfied, then I have no job. And that is what Modi ji has created in this country. He has empowered every section of society. गरीब से गरीब व्यक्ति के जीवन में परिवर्तन किया. give 4 crore people a home, you are empowering them. That home has electricity, it has toilet, it has kitchen, it has digital connectivity. You are empowering 4 crore families. You know, that is about 8 times the number of families in Australia. 8 times, 800% of the number of families in Australia in 9 years. That many families have got a free home. Almost 8 or 10 lakh crores have been spent on it. And corruption free. Direct benefit to the bank and without discrimination. We never asked anybody their religion, never asked anybody their caste, never discriminated that Goa is BJP government, so यहाँ बनेंगे and West Bengal is non-BJP, तो वहाँ नहीं बनेंगे. ये अलग बात है कि West Bengal for 4 or 5 years of that program did select the beneficiaries of it. Even today, Ayushman Bharat, under which 600 million people, not a small number, is more than the population of all of Europe, more than the population of all of America. 600 million people being eligible for free healthcare, 60 crores. But if West Bengal says we don't want the benefit for it. This kind of petty politics has cost this country very dear. And one of the press asked me, what do you mean by double engine? I said, this is what I mean. We want benefits to flow to 140 crore Indians. The day we were sworn in 14, and again in 19 because there were many new ministers, Modi ji had 3 directions for us. One, forget elections. Elections will come and go all the month, year round you have elections in India. Work for the people, for the country. Janhit or Lokhit. यही 2 आपकी प्राथमिकता होगी. Just keep working. जनता सब समझते हैं. People of India are very smart. They know what is good for them. That is why in 19, the people gave an even bigger majority. And because you all gave us an absolute majority, we could do so much. We didn't have compulsions of coalition politics like the previous governments for 30 years. We didn't have to allow corruption and say, what can I do? This is a coalition government. There is a DMK minister in my government. I can't touch him because it's a coalition. So Telecom will have a big 1,76,000 crore rupees scam. Modi ji has a zero tolerance to corruption. Not a single mine can be given out without a due process of auction. And now Goa has also started auction. Because that's the harsh reality. People want honesty. Not that they would have been dishonest. But would you have believed that people are honest if there was no transparent process? And especially after Colgate had happened. 1,86,000 crores was the CAG estimate of lost. And you know, I became power and coal minister. So I have seen all those files. Somebody should do an RTI. You do an RTI and find out those minutes of the meetings where those coal mines were about. Hindi में कहावत है, I don't know if all of you know it. चुल्ली पर पानी में डूब मरो. सुना है? In a fistful of water, you should drown. That much ashamed the Congress and UPA government should be for the actions that they did. I mean, a government whose Prime Minister could say that what do? I send 100 rupees, 85 rupees goes into corruption, into middlemen, dalals. But he never tried to solve the problem. Sometimes Modi ji just says that I should thank the Congress party. They left so many problems that I could be a busy man solving all those problems. And every problem is solved from the root. Jan Dhan, Aadhaar, Mobile, the Jam Trinity, and the direct benefit transfer. Do you know how much money has gone so far in that? 29 lakh crores. So if 29 lakh crores had gone out in the Congress time, 25 lakh crores would have gone in corruption and middlemen. Poor would have gone for 5 lakh crores. And whose money is that? All of you sitting before me. All of you pay those taxes, right? Did it not hurt when you heard about these corruption scandals? Did it not hurt if you had to pay a bribe to PISO to get an explosives license or any of the departments? I'm saying my own department के और जिसका नाम नहीं ले रहा हूँ कि कोई और के नाराज नहीं होता. But what are we trying to do? Clean up the mess. And which is why I say give us feedback. But have zero tolerance for corruption. Because when you pay money, you are equally culpable. Don't try to bring the queue. Complain against anybody who is doing wrong. Go to a higher level and complain. It's your duty as much as mine, as much as Modiji's, to eliminate corruption in the country. You have to be equal partners. What did he say on 15th August? अगर देश को विकसित देश बनाना, you want to make India a developed nation by 2047. 140 crore Indians will have to be working together. सबका साथ, सबका प्रयास. And he added, कर्तव्य भाव, sense of duty. And your duty as much as mine to stop corruption. And that's what we are trying to do. And that is what is giving us so much money, so much funding to develop the nation. And that development, I see it go. I feel very proud to be a part of Pramod Sawant's party and to work together with Pramod, Bowing, Sadanand, our other ministers. It's a matter of pride for us and satisfaction that you gave us 2 opportunities. I hope you will continue to give that opportunity in the future. But on the other hand, you gave us an absolute majority. Because of that we could deliver. So I've actually come to hear you, but also to express my gratitude and thank all of you for giving us this opportunity to serve. And in that sense, we'll work in all the suggestions. By the way, the DGFT office, please don't ask me to start it again. Thank me for closing it. Because everything I've moved online. And I don't want you to go to any DGFT officer. If you have to go to a DGFT office, then I am a failure. I have already instructed them to close all the DGFT offices in the country. Everything should be online. And I don't know whether you are aware, every morning, in all my ministries, all the public interface, I am eliminating it. And I would urge you to consider, send somebody to study, send Prudent to study my model. मैंने क्या किया प्रभु जी मैंने छोटा भाई I can take your birthday प्रभु जी I've actually kept a VC every morning DGFT there is a video conference with an open link any of you can join गाड़ी जरा कंफर्म करो चल रहा है कि नहीं कौन कितने बजे से कितने बजे every morning there's an open house. Anybody, anywhere has a problem. The link is open. You can join that VC. State your problem. And it's my department's responsibility to resolve it. If they need any supplementary papers, it will be online. If anybody goes to a DGFT office, I'll hang that office. Not literally. कल मेरे ऊपर प्रेस वाले publicity करने क्या Please delete this one second. But you understand that. And by the way, that is being recorded. So that nobody can mess around with you afterwards. If you get harassed by anybody after that, I have the recording that you have done the complaint on my video link. I can pull up that officer. तो डरना नहीं आपको हिम्मत से सब कुछ हम ऑनलाइन करें PISO approval, it will be fully online process. Boiler approval, full online. What more have I done? PISO, boiler, all of that. I have appointed competent persons from the private sector. Empowered them to give all your approvals. Government office में आना ही नहीं पड़ेगा. That's what we are trying to do. That's the level of transparency, ease of doing business. That is our focus. Therefore, I have closed DGFT. But I'm going to take you up on your offer. You please give me that test. I'm converting DGFT and I'm moving a lot of those officers to Invest India. And now Invest India will be a trade and investment promotion agency. We'll promote exports and we'll promote जितने डीजीएम के ऑफिसेस हैं उन सबको मैं ट्रेड और इन्वेस्टमेंट प्रमोशन वाले इसमें करूँगा. नो गवर्नमेंट अप्रूवल्स बट हैंड होल्डिंग, आपका हाथ पकड़ के आपको हेल्प करेंगे. बाकी डीजीएम के का काम ऑनलाइन होते रहेगा. फॉरेन इन्वेस्टर्स अभी तक इन्वेस्ट इंडिया हेल्प करती थी, अब डोमेस्टिक इन्वेस्टर्स को भी हेल्प करेंगे. और डोमेस्टिक इन्वेस्टर्स, you know, wonderful, who has already signed an agreement. They will help domestic investors if you have any problem. They'll encourage foreign investment. They'll give partnership options. They'll do matchmaking. But without selecting it. They'll just open up the ecosystem. If somebody wants pharma, you'll say these are all the pharma companies who are interested in expanding. Talk to them. So so I was telling you, one was work for the country, don't bother about elections. Second, bina bhedbhav, never discriminate. Caste, religion, state, no discrimination. Equal benefits to all. And third is zero tolerance for corruption. Work with a sense of purpose. Work for outcomes, not outlays. Minimize government interface with business. Minimum government, maximum governance. These have been the mantras which have helped us make these transformational changes. So I'll use that offer, but for promotion, DGM do only online. I like the idea of entertainment also. So maybe you recruit a team. I will try to collect all these famous guys in Bollywood. So nowadays, more than Bollywood, you should go down south. Oscar awards are being won in South India, Dollywood, and I don't know what ceremony. आपका भी तो एक बुक स्टॉक है, फेस्टिवल बड़ा फेमस है. तो in fact we need to expand. I'll tell you one problem, Pramod ji. I have talked to advertising agencies and the film industry. Why do you go abroad? Of course, some of the countries abroad are also incentivizing them. They pay a lot of the money. I don't believe we should do that. I am one of those who believes subsidy weakens India. Subsidy weakens India's industry and the people. Because it makes you helpless. You're dependent on subsidy. What Modi ji is trying to do is empower everyone. What you should do is simplify the rules by which they can come and work. They need permissions given to them easily. Do an MOU with the ASI and also that they get permission to use the monuments, the famous places, if there are any ASI restrictions. If there are any government approvals, make it totally online. Make it very simple, in 24 hours give it. And don't burden them with more taxes. कि अप्रूवल के लिए भी चार्ज लगेगा, फीस भरना पड़ेगा. जितना आपने हमको प्यार से G20 के प्रोग्राम्स के लिए मिलता है, have a desk which will be a welcome desk for them, handhold them, and I promise you, they'll stop going anywhere else. They'll all come to Goa, and I'll be a brand ambassador. I will connect you with them. And by the way, one of the doyens of India's advertising industry. Many of you may know the company, Ogilvy and Mather. Are you aware of Ogilvy and Mather? It's an international company. The international creative director of Ogilvy, Piyush, he stays in Goa. He's your Goan. His wife has moved permanently from Mumbai to Goa. आपने चोरी किया है कच्चा दिया. All through COVID, he worked out of one of the Taj properties near his house. Because in the morning, whenever I come to Goa and check if he's here, I always love to meet him. And if you have not met him, I would urge the same you. Next time he's in Goa, invite him and spend a couple of hours with him. आप हंस के पागल हो जाओ. इतना enjoyable व्यक्ति है. He's so much fun to be. And if you look up Ogilvy advertisements, some of the best advertisements are made by Ogilvy and Mather. I'm not promoting Ogilvy, not a marketing agent for that. But what I'm only trying to say is, हीरा तो आपके पास बैठा है, अंदर बैठा है. उसको यूज करो सबसे पहले, उसको एनकरेज करो कि वो दिल्ली के सब एड्स होने चाहिए, नहीं तो तुमको तड़ी पा देंगे। और आके ने शो उसकी वाइफ कभी गोवा नहीं छोड़ेगी, वो झक मार के सब एडवर्टाइजमेंट्स आ रहा है। तो लेट्स वर्क टुगेदर, इट्स अ ब्रिलियंट आइडिया। I like the cold chains idea to make this a hub for export. I'll talk to some of the Gulf countries, that's a large market. And I'll send a delegation of DP World. The many countries there will be in touch with the central government. So I would urge you to mount a mission to Goa. And I'll help you build the linkages. And they will also invest over here. Plus, Prime Minister Modi has recently, in the last cabinet, announced a cooperative sector in the PPP mode is going to set up small cold storages, food grain storages, vegetable storages. Government is also giving support for that. Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Food Processing. So work with both and cooperation. And Amita is very fond of Goa, I can tell you that. Am I right? So let's work on this. Idea also is huge potential. And you have a big, beautiful airport in the Jameen है क्या? Cold storage is also. Jameen आपको arrange करो. वो सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम छोटे प्रदेशों की और इतने अट्रैक्टिव प्रदेश की है जमीन में. जमीन के मालिक को उसका पार्टनर उसी को प्रमोट करना, तो ये होगा बेस्ट काम. Centers for Excellence on Pharma, I'll discuss with Mansukh and see what we can bring here. I can only say one thing, I'll talk to Pramodji. If we can bring some, do you have NIF? Fashion? NID? अब तो ये मेरे पास है, तो अब आपके हाथ में, पर उसमें थोड़ा स्टेट को भी कंट्रीब्यूट करना पड़ता है. हमारे पास एडिक्वेट फंडिंग नहीं है, या आपकी कोई एग्जिस्टिंग कैंपस जिधर बहुत ज्यादा डिमांड नहीं हो, या ऐसा हो तो बहुत रेगुलर प्रोग्राम चल रहा है. ऐसा तो एग्जिस्टिंग कैंपस हो तो उसमें बढ़िया NID या लिफ्ट बन सकता है. तो हाई क्वालिटी स्किल्स में हम डेवलप करेंगे. इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ पैकेजिंग भी मेरे पास है, तो आई एम ऑफरिंग टू यू. इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ फॉरेन ट्रेड है फॉर मैनेजमेंट. एनी ऑफ दिस यू वांट. लेदर है, but I would not recommend leather. It's a polluting industry. So you may work on it. As far as pharma and other industries concerned, हर एक चीज के लिए गवर्नमेंट के ऊपर मत डिपेंड. आप लोग अपना मिलके ग्रुप बनाइए. फार्मा की यहाँ 100 कंपनियां होगी, ये 100 बैंक क्यों बनाओ? 10-12 लोग लीड लो, सब लोग को बोलो भाई प्रॉफिट का अगले 3 साल के लिए हम 2% इस कॉर्पस में डालेंगे. आपके पास इनफ कॉर्पस हो जाएगा, सरकार से बेटर सेंटर ऑफ एक्सीलेंस बना. And we'll link you with CSIR and IPR, whoever you want. I think we should think more innovatively rather than looking up to government all the time. Look at the IT industry. IT industry सरकार को दूर रखती है. हम घुसने भी जाते हैं तो भगा देते हैं. इससे इतने सक्सेसफुल है. Thank you.
So I have one question.
DGFT ने और भी बेटर कर दिया. 2 days back they issued a trade notice that anyone who wants to do a VC can request a VC anytime during working hours. So we monitor your restriction. Full day you can request a VC. Immediately it will be scheduled, not as per convenience of the officer, as per mutual convenience. आपको पूछा जाएगा आपको कब करनी है. As per your convenience, we'll set up a VC and you can do a VC. But they are today, I still want that morning VC. Please call up Sadhiki right now. Go outside. Then Sad has insisted that he wants the morning VC also. But this trade notice everybody doesn't get. Point 1. And point 2, I want it to be recorded. So I prefer that morning VC. ये तो रखो ही, अच्छा किया. But I want that morning VC. Go outside and get me a confirmation.
Sir, I have one request. I'm a Piyush, President for Travel Business. And
तो पॉलिटिशियन औरत ने आपको माइक यूज करना सिखा. ये कॉर्डलेस को ऐसे पकड़ोगे तो उसका कनेक्शन सिस्टम बन सकता है।
I am President for Travel and Tourism Association of Goa, Nilesh Shah. Sir, regarding this, just now you talked about BNB and homestay policy. Our leadership of our tourism minister has already taken the lead, and I think we already have a policy in place, and we already started registering under this norm. Secondly, we were one step ahead, and even the heritage home policy under the leadership of tourism minister, we are already forming on the same thing. One request was on the TCS. Now, all of a sudden from 5% to 20%, especially on outbound travel and foreign exchange, will affect tourism industry, especially or travel and tour operators in India big way. Secondly, if you are a foreign company, then if you are doing abroad, then you can pass on that, escape that route. So looking into that, I think the local industry will suffer big way. So there is something needs to be done as far as TCS is concerned. In addition to that, it will affect even international travel big way, because when we are talking about expansion of international flights, the number of people traveling, forget about the financial outflow, but the number of people traveling will also reduce. So automatically it will affect overall international flights into India in long term. So I think something needs to be done on that part.
Sir, while I don't think it should impact if it's just coming to India, but if you have a case for it, please send a note. This comes under the finance ministry. I'll certainly discuss with them. But from what I have been able to understand as a humble chartered accountant, without necessarily receiving the service or reflecting it in their bank account or in their income tax return. What was happening is, we have, let's say, people who go abroad, spend 10 lakh rupees in a family going abroad, but don't even file an income tax return. So I think this is more to try and see that these wrong practices stop. But we are open to suggestions. And I'll certainly discuss with Nirmalaji to give me some concrete ideas and the difficulties why it is being found. Thank you.
Hello, good evening, sir. My name is Avnish. I'm representing a company called Konkani Composites. We manufacture composite parts for aerospace, defense and space sector. So I have a request, especially with regard to the disadvantages that we are facing while competing with global aerospace and defense companies. Global aerospace and defense companies. Aerospace, yeah. So we manufacture parts for companies like BAE Systems. We are associated with Boeing P-8 aircraft, having supplied more than 7,000 consoles for that. So when we compete with, there is no dearth of RFQs where we get from aerospace companies, but most of the raw materials that we use are imported primarily from US and Europe. So there are two disadvantages. Firstly is the cost, and secondly the freight.
What is the cost? If you have to import,
yes, sir.
What is the problem in import?
Sir, these are all based in these are OEM directed companies. So the cost, they have different cost for Europe and different cost for India.
How can government dictate the price?
No, I'm coming to that, sir. I'm just coming to that. So, firstly the cost, and secondly the raw material, the freight which gets, by the time we get the materials here, our cost gets higher, and we are uncompetitive. Companies like ours, Tata Advanced Materials. So overall industry-wise, we are facing this disadvantage and we are not able to compete with global OEMs. So, just needed your suggestion as to, I'm trying with all the industry associations who are into aerospace and defense, what can be done to get this raw material suppliers set up a shop in India? Because for the entire aerospace industry, all the raw materials still come from Europe and UK.
Sir, of course, it's now 9 years and 1 week since I left the private sector and became a minister. So I've also lost track with my business days or investment banking days, but I can only tell you that very clearly economics of a business is determined by your own business practices or industry practices. Government cannot play a role in the pricing of your raw materials or the availability of raw materials or the price that Boeing or any other raw material supplier charges. But what we can do and what we are doing, for example, Prime Minister Modi will be in the US on the 22nd of June on a state visit. It's only the third time an Indian leader is going on a state visit to the US in 75 years. Third visit. And in him, there will be some more very unique features which will be known in due course. I'm not saying anything. But one of the areas of interest that we are discussing with them is MROs. And that they should look at MROs coming to India and those MROs creating the ecosystem. Once the MROs come to India in a bigger way, the ecosystem of suppliers will also naturally come. It's a process. Apple has come to India. Now they are getting the ecosystem of the components. So it's a time you'll have to persevere. But you will end up with few items which will always be important. It's not necessarily everything will have to be made here or maybe economical to make here. You heard of Michael Porter's theory, I'm sure, that every country has its unique propositions. The competitive and comparative advantage of nations, he calls it. Similarly, every state or every industry need not always be competitive for everything. Right? So, for example, for a steel plant, your state is not suitable. You don't want a polluting steel plant to come to Goa, even though you have iron ore. You are not keen to have a steel plant, right? So each state, each region, each industry, it's something which varies. If we try to do tourism, actually India you can do tourism anywhere in the country. So that's one universal industry. So I'm choosing a wrong example. But maybe pharma, right? Pharma is an industry you can't do any and everything. You need an ecosystem, the environment has to be good, you need those clean rooms, you need good weather. Many features are there. So I think this is an issue which will be industry specific, but still, if you have some ideas or suggestions that we can play a role, I'd love to receive a letter.
Good evening, Mr. Sir.
This will be the last question. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
After that, you can informally meet me if you have anything.
Sir, I run a startup called Bakaf. We are India's first jackfruit company. So one big problem and this is a very pointed question as far as logistics is concerned. I know everyone has spoken about logistics, but one big problem here is with the whole growth of the D2C market, direct to consumers. When we are sending products to our consumers, the final end delivery is becoming very expensive. The last mile delivery becomes a huge problem. It eats into our net profit. So we are spending almost 15% of our cost is going on logistics, whereas it should be 3 to 4 ideally. So my suggestion to you here is that we have the strongest railway network in the world, and I think that can be an amazing mode of delivery.
But we have that parcel service, right?
We've tried everything, sir, but it damages our products. Firstly, it's not taken care of properly, and again, it's not the most easy and flexible because today there are the startups. Today there are the startups who do this, but very expensive, but the delivery quality is very good. So if the government can probably tie up with some startup and get into this whole logistic thing.
I understand your point, sir, but I just tell you one thing. Logistics cost is also related to your end product. Very often we deride that India where logistics is very expensive. And we say America or Europe where it is low. Correct? You must bear in mind that America or Europe is a very high cost economy. The products that they make and they sell and they export, suppose it's an aeroplane which costs $100 billion. The logistics cost will be 0.01%. They just have to fly it to their destination. Correct? If it's an Apple phone costs a lakh of rupees. Logistics cost will be probably 300, 500 rupees. So logistics cost is always relative to the product. India is an agrarian country. Agrarian products are not very high cost. So obviously logistics as a percentage will be high. Iron ore will be. Iron ore, obviously the logistics cost will be high. Because it's a low cost, it's a raw material. But if you make a high quality stainless steel end product, then the logistics cost will not exponentially increase 100x. From iron ore to stainless steel or steel or whatever. It will increase marginally. In fact, probably it will come down. Compared to iron ore, it will come down. So logistics is always relative to the your level of costing and the level at which you are. Same jackfruit you said, if you process it and make an end product of it and package it well, your value of the product will go up and then the logistics cost will come down. But having said that, I take your point. I'll talk to my colleague Railway Minister and we'll see if we can. We had started the Kisan Rail, but it didn't work out very successfully because aggregating that much material at one point, at one time, perishable material used to get spoiled. So it worked only from 2 or 3 places like Nasik. Onions would come, there was a demand for Kisan Rail. But it was not a universal pan-India demand, so we had to decide. But as more and more of these cold chains and all of this stuff is developed, and we are planning to invest 1 lakh crore, Modi ji has sanctioned 1 lakh crore through the Agri-Infrastructure Fund. And that's why I said we'll work together to expand the logistics infrastructure here. Thank you. No, I'm sorry, Kari.
I think we have one last question from the lady. Thank you.
Actually, I started the online daily morning. We see that they found that not too many people are coming. And therefore they said this should be more effective. We can monitor what are the problems and all. They don't understand my mind. So I asked them to restart. My mind is I don't want to monitor. I want it to be open. And so that it's recorded. I'm monitoring में तो फिर मैं वापस वापस क्या power दे. तो मेरा mind अलग चलता है. थोड़ा टाइम लगेगा सिस्टम को मेरे हिसाब से चलने. तो they are trying different ways. I have to also try my way.
Good evening, Honorable Minister.
Madam, the mic like this, close your mouth so I can hear you.
First of all, I would like to congratulate you as well as our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji for taking India from a third world country to emerging markets. And in the defense sector, we have major exports, a huge jump. So as a finance person, it is a very good investment. As an Indian citizen, how safe is it?
This massive increase, sudden increase.
Exporting arms and ammunition from India to other countries. In case of war,
Exports.
how safe?
Sorry, the acoustics in this room are not the best, I can say. You're saying that exports have increased very suddenly.
They have increased very suddenly, which is good. And as a finance person, it is a very good sector to invest in.
Defense exports.
Yes.
Okay.
As an Indian citizen, how safe is it in case of a war?
Oh, we are absolutely safe, you don't worry. Prime Minister Modi is one person, जिससे कोई पंगा ही नहीं ले. I mean, पंगा is a more a Bombay word. But nobody dare take budgets with him. They have already tried twice and they got it back right on their face. Surgical strike, then the air strike. So this is the safest period for India. And we believe that if they do, look at what happened when the Chinese tried to intrude into our territory. Earlier, under Pandit Nehru's government, Congress government, we lost thousands of kilometers of Indian land. And that party is asking us questions. Their leader who goes and does an MOU with the Chinese Communist Party. We don't know what that MOU is, but certainly I know one thing. Between 2004 and 2014, under the UPA government, our import who spends every Diwali with our forces on the borders. By the way, from here, I go back tomorrow after the startup engagement, startup S20 engagement in Goa. Tomorrow after it gets over, I immediately fly out. I'll reach probably wherever I'm going, Delhi or Mumbai, I don't even know. I'll reach post midnight. And early morning, 5:30 or 6:30, I have the next flight to Uttarakhand. And I'm going to a border village called Chamoli. Prime Minister Modi asked all his ministers, all his cabinet colleagues, to go and spend a night in the borders, to meet the village people in the borders, to meet our jawans at the borders. So Sunday night, I will be in Chamoli. In the mountains, I don't know what time, with the villagers, spending the night, understanding what's happening. We have recently sanctioned a vibrant village border program. We are trying to develop 2,500 villages in the borders so that they also get good facilities. There was a time people in Arunachal used to say that China has developed the villages and the border areas, we are undeveloped. Now our villages are getting modern amenities. Telecom connectivity, electricity, good road connectivity. They are getting free homes under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. They are getting free food grains. We are empowering the people at the border because they will be our front line of defense. And when they try to attack our Indian soldiers, you know how we give them an eye for an eye and bash them up and send them back. So India is safe, the safest it has ever been, thanks to Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your. We are extremely